Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6. Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Hairil Trisuryana, and there are Ainun Hayatun and Nina Nurjaman. This presentation is about discourse analysis in translation subject. We are discussing about pragmatic. Wait a sec. We are discussing about pragmatic dimension, speech act, and translation. Uh, Pragmatic dimension meaning the pragmatic dimension of discourse generates accounts for the immediate context of the production and reception of a text, the kind of participants involved and the links between them, the time and place, its communicative purpose, the pragmatic tactics and strategies employed, interlocutors' inscription, modelization, politeness, etc. And about speech acts meaning speech acts is action which is performed via utterance through speech act. The speaker can convey physical action merely through words and phrases. Speech act, a variety of verbal communication and also a subdivision of pragmatics, often takes place in verbal and non-verbal communication. According to Yule, 1996, states that speech arts are a study of how the speaker and hearers use language. And according to Austin too, in Sui, 1994, Bab 4 explains that speech acts are acts that refer to the action performed by produced utterance. And there are type of speech acts. Number one, locutionary. Locutionary speech act is roughly equivalent to uttering certain utterance with certain sense and reference, which again is roughly equivalent to meaning in traditional sense. According to Austin, 1962, page 108. The example of the locutionary speech act can be seen in the following sentence. Number one, it's so dark in this room. Number two, the box is heavy. The above two sentences represent the actual condition. The first sentence refers to the lighting of the room, and the second sentence refers to the weight of the box. Number two, illocutionary. The illocutionary act is performed via the communicative force of an utterance, such as promising, apologizing, offering. According to Yule 1996, page 48. This act is also called the act of doing something in saying something. The most significant level of action in a speech act is the illocutionary act because the force, which has been desired by the speakers, determines this act. Number one, it's so dark in this room. Number two, the box is heavy. Same with the example of number one, but based on examples above, the first sentence shows a request to switch the light on, and the second sentence shows a request to lift up the box. And but the meaning is different from number one. Okay, number three, perlocutionary. According to Hookford and Hesley, 1983, page 250, states that perlocutionary act is the act that is carried out by a speaker when making an utterance causes in certain effect on the hearer and others. Perlocutionary act is also the act of offering someone. Perlocutionary act refers to the effect the utterance has on the thoughts or actions of the other person. A perlocutionary act is specific to the circumstance of issuance. and is therefore not conventionally achieved just by uttering that particular utterance and includes all those effects, intended or unintended, often indeterminate, that some particular utterance in a particular situation cause. For example, number one is so dark in this room. Number two, the box is heavy. Based on the example, it can be inferred that the first sentence is uttered by someone while switching the light on, and the second sentence is done by someone while lifting up the box. And for the next material will be explained by Ainun Hayatun.
Thank you, Surya. And next, classification of speech act. Speech act can be classified into 5 categories as early in Levinson 19, 1983, page 240 states that the classification are representative, directive, commissive, expressive, and declaration. And first, representative. Representatives are speech act that the utterance commit the speaker to the truth of the express proposition. The utterance are produced based on the speaker observation of certain things, then followed by stating the fact or opinion based on the observation. Peregrines case, asserting, stating, concluding, boasting, describing, suggesting. And next, directives. Directives are area speech acts the speaker used to get someone else to do something. The speech acts include requesting, questioning, command, order, and suggesting. For example, when someone says, "Could you lend me a pencil, please?" The, the utterance represents the speaker request that the hearer to do something which is to lend him a pencil. And next, commissives. Commissives are speech acts that the utterance commit the speaker to some future course of action. This include promising, threatening, offering, refusal, pledge. And for example, when someone says, "I'll be back," represents the speaker promise that he or she will be back. And next, and next speech as and next sorry expressive are speech acts that the utterance express a physiological states. The speech acts include thanking, apologizing, welcoming, and congratulating. For example, when someone say, "Don't be shy, my home is your home," the utterance represents the speaker expression that he or she welcomes someone. And the last one, declaration. Declaration are speech acts that the utterance effect immediate change in the institutional state of affairs and which tend to rely on elaborate extra-linguistic institution. The speech act include excommunicating, declaring war, christening, firing from employment. For example, "You are dead to me." And next, Nina Nurjaman.
Thank you, Ainun. The direct and indirect speech act. Direct speech is a direct relation between a structure and a function. And in indirect speech act is indirect relation between a structure and a function. Declarative sentence has a function as a statement in direct speech act. If the declarative sentence used to be a request in indirect speech act, for example, in indirect speech act and indirect speech act, 1 is cold outside. 2. I hereby tell you about the weather. 3. I hereby request of you that you close the door. The utterance 1 is declarative. If used, it makes a statement as paraphrased. In 2, it is functioning as direct speech. If the 1 used to make a comment or request as paraphrased, in 3, it is functioning as an indirect speech. Speed even. The set of utterances produced in a social situation involving participants who necessarily have a social relationship and have particular goals. The activity in which participants interact via language in some conventional way to arrive at some outcome. For example, A. I don't really dislike. B. Okay, I will take another one. In A, as an obvious central speech act, and B as the speech act that react to the central speech act. It means that in the speech even above, there is a central speech act and the other speech act that led up and react to the central action or speech act. Next, components of speech event. 1. Some purpose of communication. 2. Some topic. 3. Some participants. 4. Some language variants, or generally. For example, exchanging greetings, telling jokes, giving speeches, requesting help, and complaining and centuries. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your interest and attention. We are sorry about our mistakes or our error. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much.